The demon of cigarettes, tobacco, quitting smoking, rebuking the demon not working. Now, some people may be struggling to quit cigarettes, or you may know someone that is struggling to quit, and you've been rebuking this spirit to no avail. If you've been rebuking this demon and it's not working, this can be because of the strong attachment you have to cigarettes. You may have been smoking for years and or have a false idea that you need this poison to get through your days. When you've been smoking for a while or feel you need cigarettes, the demon's foot is still at the door. It can be hard to remove a demon that you have worked with, befriended, and let in the temple of your body constantly. The demon grows in power every time you partake in it. So now the demon is strong. And to get the demon to be small and not be able to influence you as much, you have to stop feeding it. I like what the website nccg.org states about cigarettes, which is that smoking cigarettes replaces the natural effects of the Holy Spirit, which gives you peace. The cigarette demon tobacco will lead you to think that you need tobacco to calm you down, relieve boredom or stress, etc. Since your body is a temple of the Most High, He is enough to help to relieve anxiety, stress, boredom, and cravings. The Holy Spirit doesn't need to work with toxins from cigarettes, which attracts demons. The tobacco spirit, which I mentioned in the video, foods and drinks that attract demonic spirits, this spirit attracts caffeine and alcohol. And if you have quit smoking, it works with the spirit of fear, anxiety, irritation, and stress to get you to smoke again. So don't be surprised if someone starts a fight with you during your quitting time. If you stay committed during stressful times to not smoke, then it really shows that you really want to quit and are willing to find healthier means to relieve what normally makes you smoke. And it doesn't help with all the promotion the media has done to promote cigarettes. And obviously, this has been for years that celebrities have been promoting this like this is a cool thing to do. Some celebrities have gone as far as actually doing commercials to promote cigarette brands. So gullible people watch these celebrities and want to be just like them and may take on smoking cigarettes, not realizing or not caring about the health consequences. This is intended for people who want to quit smoking and are ready for a change. That's what this video is for. Instead of saying to yourself over and over again, I'm going to quit, I'm going to stop, I'm not going to smoke today. This constant chanting may actually be exasperating the situation. It may make you want to smoke even more. It can promote desire instead of doing the opposite. You may not like being told what to do. The vision of making yourself stop smoking may not work as well. Any type of forced effort or any pressure you put on yourself isn't going to work. You don't have to buy expensive nicotine products to help you quit either. Nicotine is poison, so why continue to take it to get rid of the problem? Should an alcoholic drink a little alcohol every day to get rid of alcohol abuse? To me, it's the same phenomenon. We're using nicotine patches and gum to rid your desire to smoke cigarettes. You're fighting the problem with the problem. The idea is to ultimately remove all positive associations in connection with cigarettes. When the thought of feeling that you want to smoke comes into your mind, instead of constantly hypnotizing yourself and allowing the craving thought to settle into your mind and heart, you have to immediately think of all the reasons you hate it and find it disgusting. This has to be a constant practice. Once you let your mind become lazy and relaxed, your pleasure association thoughts will immediately flood back into your mind. Your pleasure association thoughts are currently more powerful because they have been fueled over and over again. The thoughts of disgust need to be more powerful so that you stop allowing yourself to have the constant desire and false need for cigarettes. Now, to understand how you got into this habit, we need to look at the psychology of classical conditioning developed by Ivan Pavlov. This is the process by which an originally neutral stimulus, such as a friend that smokes, being in your car, having a cup of coffee, which we'll talk about in a minute along with alcohol, or your job, for example, comes to elicit a response, such as desiring a cigarette. Your brain sees a stimulus and feels the need to fill in the blank with a cigarette. This learning process occurs when the neutral stimulus, stress or food, is repeated paired with the other stimulus, a cigarette for example. This can be transferred to just a mere thought of getting into your car can trigger a desire for a cigarette. Anticipated stress can trigger a desire for a cigarette. Understand what associations that you are connecting subconsciously with that help to trigger your desires. Start paying attention to the times the cravings come around. Pay attention to when you smoke out of boredom or because, it's available to you. Do you crave to smoke when you wake up? Do you crave to smoke after you eat? Realize that you have conditioned this automatic response. Pavlov did an experiment with his dogs. Whenever he rang a bell, he gave his dogs food. So every time his dogs would hear a bell, the dogs would salivate in anticipation of some food. A lot of our actions are operant behaviors because they actively operate on the environment. Psychologist Edward L. Thorndike proposed that animals learn according to law of effect. This law states that animals tend to repeat behaviors that are followed by good effects, and they tend to stop behaviors that are not followed by desirable results. Aristotle studied the phenomenon of how our experiences cause certain associations in the mind. B.F. Skinner expanded on Thorndike's observation and translated the law of effect into the theory of operant conditioning. This theory states that operant behaviors are learned when desired responses are reinforced, and undesired responses are either ignored or punished. If we look at Pavlov's experiment again, we know that the bell did not cause the salivation in the dogs until after the conditioning. So this is called a conditioned stimulus. And you can get some of this information from a psychology book that I used to have called Principles and Applications Psychology by Stephen Warchell and Wayne Shabilsky. Now, what if every time you picked up a cigarette tasted like feces, or received an electric shock, felt nauseated, or got punched in the face? There's a very high chance that you wouldn't want to smoke anymore. Immediate dissatisfaction or punishment, like disease or ill feelings, for example, with the thought of a cigarette would need to occur to get you to stop smoking. In a lot of cases, as long as you continue to smoke, you still derive some level of pleasure with it. You may have to go to extremes to make yourself quit. Okay, so let's talk about ways that can make you quit. Buying the most disgusting cigarettes you can possibly find and smoke until you get sick or vomit. Now, obviously, a lot of people may not want to do that, but, if you're at that level where, I got to get rid of this, you may have to stop buying your preferred brand and buy a brand that you know you don't like to get sick of it. You can also watch pictures or videos of hazards of smoking every day till you don't desire it anymore. View people that just didn't care enough to quit. See pictures with people over and over again with blackened lungs, holes in their throats, teeth dark, yellow or brown, sallow skin, yellow eyes, dry wrinkled skin, people with lung cancer, people that have had to have their throats removed. Basically, it's practicing negative self-hypnotism instead of pleasure self-hypnotism. See the cigarette as a poison, as tasting disgusting, as slowly killing you, depriving you of oxygen and energy, causing breathing difficulties, messing up your appearance, and what it will do to you in the future if you continue to be a slave to your own habit creation. Be creative. You may need to be creative. Think of something that makes you feel sick every time you put the cigarette into your mouth. Start paying attention to your thoughts and how you feel every time you smoke. Do you feel cigarettes relaxes you and relieves your stress? If so, then after you smoke, see if your stress has actually gone down and if you really do feel relaxed. Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. If the stress and relaxation are not that great, it should give you more reason to quit because it's not fully doing its job. Honestly ask yourself if there is something else that provides better relaxation and stress relief than cigarettes. If you can think of something, start applying that option at times when you find yourself wanting to smoke. It may have to be gradual and practice often to get you to overcome the association of cigarettes equaling stress relief. Start monitoring yourself and paying attention to yourself. See how long it takes you throughout the day before you desire another cigarette. You may find that you may be smoking many times throughout the day just because you can or out of boredom. It may have nothing to do with a natural craving. Cravings are all in the mind anyway. Remember when you were a non-smoker? Even if it was just for a few days. No one starts out with an addiction. You create an addiction through repeated action and pleasure associations, which a lot of times are connected with trigger situations that reinforce the action. It's similar to a baby with a pacifier, but now as an adult, you replace a pacifier with a cigarette. Positive reinforcement has been nurtured over and over again that then turns to a habit. The point is that if you don't like something, you don't do it. You have to start practicing different thoughts repeatedly about cigarettes. It has to be constant. You cannot allow your mind to become lazy or get off track. Smoking cigarettes is a quick, temporal, illusory fix to a situation or problem. You may need to start being around non-smokers more to see how they handle the trigger situations that increase your cravings. Because people that don't smoke, they go through stress also. So you may need to see how they deal with it. And some may think this is easier said than done, but remember, just like you've convinced yourself that you need to have a cigarette every day, you can convince yourself of the opposite. We have a programmable brain, and you were not always a smoker. You were not smoking when you came out of your mother's womb, were you? You were literally buying yourself poison at an expensive price. Would you be willing to eat rat poison every day, several times a day? Find other ways to deal with stress, boredom, weight loss, and relaxation. Exercise, read a book, dance, sing, skate, call someone, pick up a hobby, draw, write, meditate on scriptures, pray, eat a healthy snack, get educated on something, learn a new language, hike, bike ride, listen to music, walk, jog, enjoy nature, talk to people, visit someone, stretch, be around people that will lift your spirits, take a shower, swim. Water can help relieve stress. You can go to the park, put together a puzzle, go outside, practice deep breathing exercises, pick up gardening, be around animals, become a volunteer, be around children, visit a museum, invent something, paint, finish a project, clean your house or your car, etc. The point is, the busier you are, the less time you'll have to smoke. Think of things you can do to utilize your time and keep you happy. After a while, you will realize that the cigarettes were really hindering you and you never even needed them in your life. Think about how much energy, money, and time you have lost as a smoker. Think about the beauty you have lost. Think about the health you have lost. Keep affirming to yourself that you are a non-smoker. You don't need cigarettes, and that it's no benefit to you at all. Utilize these affirmations in your alpha brain wave state, the state of mind that you're in when you find yourself daydreaming, relaxed upon waking up and falling asleep at night. It's okay if you don't believe it. Pretend that you are and you will become it. Focus on being healthy, more energetic, and more alive. Let's talk about cold turkey. This is for a strong individual who can take the pain of withdrawal, which a lot of us want to avoid. It may take a few days, weeks, or months of crying, irritation, frustration, and discomfort. But if you focus on the long run, you will see that it was worth the temporal discomfort. Cigarette smoking can be a never-ending cycle. After 15 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, the craving never ends. It becomes a circle. How many times have you told yourself that you were going to quit? You meant it with all your heart and all your soul. Something occurred to make you keep at it and reinforce the past habit. Things that trigger the desire to smoke can be caffeine, alcohol, and drugs, stress, which can be work related, money related, any unpleasant experience, bad news, anything that makes you angry, uncomfortable, or upset. You may do it to relax. You may do it to lose weight or control weight gain instead of exercising and changing your diet. You would rather risk lung cancer and other problems in an attempt to suppress your appetite. And people do this with caffeine also, which is also a spirit that works with cigarettes. This is a lazy approach, risky approach to losing weight. When you're not doing anything productive or it's just available to you to be a part of a group, parties, people that stress you out or who also smoke, also if you're around those kind of people that can also trigger things. Pleasure. Let's talk about pleasure, because pleasure can make you feel that this cigarette is making you feel good in some kind of a way. You feel like the sensation of the smoke going into your lungs, you like that sensation, and maybe you derive a high or euphoric feeling because of it. Maybe it has become like a friend, always there when you need it. This belief ignores the negative factors that are actually involved. In conclusion, you already know what it's like to be a non-smoker. Think about how many times a day that you are not smoking. Most jobs don't allow you to smoke all day long. Even if you could, a lot of you would not, because you have something to do and you may not even be thinking about it. You may not smoke around certain people or at certain places. So if you can be a non-smoker during these times, what makes you think that you can't be that way all the time? There are times when you forget about smoking until the trigger situation occurs, or you get to take a break, and just certain things can put in your mind, but during the other part of the day you're doing stuff or whatever and you're not smoking. So keep that in mind. How are you able to stop yourself at certain times a day? Like, let's say you're visiting a hospital, for example, in a non-smoking facility. You have to be there for hours, okay? But right when you leave, what happens? You feel like, I gotta smoke. I've been there for 3 hours, okay? It's all in the mental program. A smoker can watch an anti-smoking campaign that speaks about all the dangers of cigarettes and it won't faze them. A smoker can be told that they have the early signs of bronchitis and keep smoking. Why? This happens because as long as the symptoms are mild, or not showing up, or able to be dealt with, the smoker feels that it's okay to continue. They may think, nothing's going to happen to me. I'll quit before I'll let it get too far. The pleasure association creeps back in the mind, assuring you that you're okay. You can handle it. You've handled it for this long and you're still alive, right? That's what you think. I'm still alive. Everything's fine. I don't feel too bad. A woman can be pregnant and told that cigarettes are a danger to the baby, but many will continue to smoke anyway. They don't perceive the immediate danger because they can't see inside of them, or they are just willing to take the risk. The baby, they feel, may not manifest any defects. As long as a person continues to attach a positive reason behind their action, they will continue to do it at the extreme level. A person continues until they are ill, diseased, can't breathe normally, or just simply die. That's how powerful an association to a negative stimulus can be, smokers continually will ignore or kick out of their minds the dangers of smoking, replace it with reasons to continue. Why not start programming your mind to do the opposite? Start kicking out and ignoring the positive associations you have attached to cigarettes. Stop saying to yourself, I need or I want a cigarette. Your body does not desire cigarettes. It is getting no nutritional or optimal values from it. If you are not willing to do whatever it takes, no matter how uncomfortable it may be, to quit smoking, then you are not ready to quit. It's not that you need to worry yourself about the physical addiction, which is about 10%. The addiction is all in your mind, which is 90%. Thank you for watching.